Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is a very momentous day because for the first time we're going to get into the group that I consider to be my second favorite group in all of K-pop, just because I can't quite say that they could take over 17, but I have known this group for a very long time, and this group is BTS! Bangtan. I know. Okay, so everybody and their mom has heard of BTS. But today we're gonna get into my favorite B-side tracks from every single one of their albums. I'm gonna skip some of the duplicate albums as well as their Japanese albums just because I don't really pay attention to those as much and still a lot of things overlap. But let's talk about Bangtan! Obviously now, BTS is known worldwide, but way back when they debuted in 2013, I was following them. I actually heard about them before they debuted. I remember seeing all these articles about how a former employee of JYP had started his own company and he was debuting a boy group, and they had released some of their images, and right from the get-go, just seeing their images, seeing their concept, I was super excited to see these boys. And so I already started following them. And back then, I thought my bias was gonna be Jin. And don't get me wrong, it's really hard to choose a bias in BTS. But my current bias, J-Hope, I cannot give him up as my bias for BTS. There's just no way. It's like my bias is here and all of the other boys are just like right here, like they're so close, but I can't let anybody beat my J-Hope, and I'm not going to talk about him right now because I'm going to do a video about my biases from popular groups such as BTS, so look out for that later. We're gonna get into this. So starting from 2013 with their Too Cool for School album, let's get into my favorite song off of this album. BTS debuted with No More Dream, which was really big, and it was their intro, and it was iconic because one, it was that hip-hop feel that everybody was getting super into back then. Two, they were wearing Hood by Air, which was very popular clothing style wise. You know, that was when we were really getting into the very dark streetwear vibe, which we still have now, but you know, it's evolved over time. But Hood by Air was known for like basically all black. They had white print on there with words and graphics, and BTS was rocking that from head to toe. And that's back when Rap Monster would only wear his sunglasses all the time, and when he still went by Rap Monster instead of RM. They also came out with We Are Bulletproof. So both of those got music videos, and those were the songs that they promoted as their title tracks. But on this album as well is a song called Like, and we're gonna listen to that right now. So even though BTS was really pushing their hip-hop vibe, this song was kind of their intro, showing that they would also be exploring things that were a little bit more R&B. It wasn't all going to be like hard rapping. Yeah. Okay, we only have time to listen to little snippets of each song, but yeah, that one was real smooth. They were real young. The next album is Oh, Are You Late Too? And on here they had bops like No, and the very first Cypher. But the song that I listen to a lot is Coffee. Also Attack on Bangtan, like that's iconic, but Coffee is the song that I listen to. Oh my gosh, you got Jungkook right in the beginning. Baby,
한마디면 되겠지 얼마나 성공할지 세상이랑 내겠어 내게만 보여주던 내 반달 눈웃음 요즘 다시 찍고 다니는 팬들이 궁금해져 아 그리고 잘난 맛이 마키아토 알잖아 너 때문에 습관이 된 아메리카노 사귈 땐 이게 무슨 맛인가 싶었었는데 차갑고 뒷맛은 씁쓸한 게 네가 없으니까 지금 조금 이해가리 girl 이렇게 나를 익숙해져가는 거라면 후회만 해보이자 나를 다시 선택하겠어 나는 우리의 약속하던 약속들 수많던 잘못들과 또 다른 잘못을 너의 말 못할 잘 잘못들 맛볼수록 쓰기만 했던 추억이 담긴 잔 왜 들이키게 되는지 알고 가지만 다 이렇게 사는 거란 말이 왜 이리 슬프지 나 오오오
Yes! They got the smooth vocals, they got the beat going. BTS! Okay, so the next album was School Love Affair, which had a lot of bops on it. And even though this is technically one of their title tracks, it wasn't the title track, so I think it's fine. This album included Boy in Love. It had their second Cypher, which was really popular. But the song that I love, of course, is Just One Day.
Just one day, one night. That's all I ever wanted.
Yes, they do have a music video, and yes, it's so cute. You need to watch it. So far, all of these songs have a similar vibe, I'm aware. We'll branch out in a second. 너란 작품에 대해 감상을 해 너란 존재가 예술이니까 이렇게 매일 난 밤새도록 상상을 해 어차피 내게는 무의미한 꿈이니까 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면 너와 내가 손잡을 수 있다면 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면 Do it, do it, do it. Party, party. Okay, okay. Love that song. Moving on. We're on to Dark and Wild. Now, this one had the bop of Danger, which I really hope you've all heard. I really hope you've all seen the dance practice to it, because this is one of their most iconic dance practices. They're just going so hard. And if you watch my baby Hopi dancing, he's so good. Oh my gosh. They also had War of Hormone, which is one of the thoughtiest music videos in the K-pop industry, I just have to say. But for this one, my favorite song is actually their Cypher. So let's listen to part of that. Cypher Part 3. You know, I don't listen to that much American hip-hop anymore. There's, like, certain vibes that I really like Gambino, Kendrick Lamar, Cardi B, I guess. I really like J. Cole. But I could listen to them rap all the time. Korean rap, just the way that the Korean language works and how it fits into the rap language, like the rhythm, it's just so good. Ooh, we're getting into the like. Okay, we have to move on. So that was Dark and Wild, 2014. So 2014, they've only been out for 1 year, and they've already got what, like 3 or 4 albums out. And let me tell you, these albums cannot be considered mini albums. They have plenty of songs on them. Yeah, these are full albums, and they're releasing a ton at once. The next part, what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep the most beautiful moment in life split into the 2 parts. So we'll start with part 1, which had Dope and I Need You. Great songs, great songs. The one I really like, though, that a lot of people know as well, is Converse High.
사람을 만날 거야. 그리고 말했겠지 자신이 세상을 구했어. 넌 저 여자들이 다시 태어나게 한 거야. F 쉐로 F Alexander McQueen F rap Simmons 1등 1위 와서 check. 10만 원이면 2켤레 내 스타일은 내가 원하는 걸 알지. 히트의 청반바지 빨간 Converse high. That's it. Alright 반줄 놓쳐 파남보. 네 발에 무지개들 shine like Rambo. 내 저격해 타는 shout out. Wow wow. 네 몸매와 함께면 더 high high. Context to that.
Ooh, yes. So, if you haven't seen on this channel, my sisters and I actually did a BTS compilation dance medley, which we did not give ourselves enough time on. So there are definitely some songs that are better than others. Actually, if you watch the dances and songs towards the end of the video are much better than the songs at the beginning. So, just if you watch it, hold out for the end. We also have some really fun bloopers on that one. But we did a lot of songs from the Most Beautiful Moment in Life series. So we're gonna move on to part 2. So this one had Bapse, also known as Silver Spoon, My City, Walian, and Run, which were all iconic songs. The one, though, that I would say resonates with me the most is Butterfly. And I might talk about this in another video, but a few years ago, I moved across the country, and I had quite a hard time. And I had this playlist of songs that I played to help me get through that time. I was very anxious and very depressed, and BTS's song Butterfly was one of the songs that helped me get through that time, and so it means a lot to me. So let's listen to it now. Yeah, hearing that song automatically puts me in a certain type of mood. So, yeah, I love that song. If you haven't had a chance to hear it, hear the whole thing. Okay, so moving on. So we have Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Young Forever, which is a compilation of the 2 parts plus some. So we're going to skip that, and we're going to move on to Wings. And I know Wings is a little bit hard to go through because it also overlaps with You Never Walk Alone, but we'll get into two different songs here. So Wings has Blood, Sweat, and Tears on it, which when that music video came out, it was legendary, and I literally almost died the first time watching it. This is when they started having a lot of solo songs. But the song that I'm super into on this album is 21st Century Girl. You're perfect. Deserve it. Just work it. The live stage of this is one of my favorite live stages from them. Just because the mood of the song fits, their styling was amazing. You know when I say that there are songs that I think are like perfect K-pop songs? This is one of them. That new lady. Don't let it go. Put your hands up. Hands up. Bop, bop, bop. Put your hands up. Now scream. Okay. That was a good one. Okay, so the only songs that they really added to Wings to make You Never Walk Alone were their title track, so I'm gonna have to skip that one for now. But that one had Not Today and Spring Day, which were both very separate concepts, but worked really well together and on this album. So moving on to Love Yourself, Her. So Love Yourself, Her is probably one of my favorite BTS albums in general, just like as an entire entity. And it's hard for me to remember which one is actually the title track of the song. Obviously it's DNA, but just all of these songs are so good. And Mic Drop, I guess, because Mic Drop, they did a whole promotion, you know, in America with Steve Aoki and designer, I almost said Panda. On this album, my favorite would be Dimple, which I did talk a little bit about in the road trip playlist video, but let's talk about this a little bit more. This song in particular, every time I hear the chorus, all I think about is the BTS Superstar game and like sliding the little slider things. Here we go. Or like together. Okay, yep, I like that song. I like it a lot. Moving on, we have the album that came out this summer, and I do have to say this comes in a close second for me to Love Yourself, Her. This is Love Yourself, Tear. When this album came out, I was working in Minnesota, and I was just in my room with my earphones in, bopping so hard. I love this album. So the title track was Fake Love, which I watched and I reacted to. Oh, I should upload it on this channel. I reacted to live on Facebook the performance at one of the American award shows, the AMAs, or was it the BBMAs? I can't remember which one. But that's when I first really heard it outside of the music video, and that music video was freaking crazy. And oh my gosh, I just love it. I love this album so much. So let's see, what is my favorite song? Oh, it's hard to choose. Airplane Part 2 was really big, especially when I realized that J-Hope's line from Airplane on his mixtape is the line that he used in Airplane Part 2, and just like how different the moods of those songs are. Mind blown. Okay, so on this album, it's gotta be 134340, which is the Pluto song. Yes! Yes! The aesthetic of this entire album and their outfits and just like the songs, so good. Gosh, this matches his voice so well. Okay, we didn't make it to the chorus, but I love that song. Also, shout out to Singularity. That song, Taehyung, in that song, I have no words. It's like otherworldly. Whew. Okay, let's move on to their newest album, Love Yourself Answer. So of course, again, this comes in parts because it's using songs from Love Yourself Her and Love Yourself Tear, but they did add quite a few things, including the trivias, full-length versions of some of their solos, especially Serendipity, which is Jimin's solo. But on this album, oh my god, this is gonna be hard. On this album, I would have to say Epiphany. Jin's solo hits hard. I love all of the trivias. I love Singularity. I love Serendipity. I love The Truth Untold. I love Her. I love Idol. I love all of these songs. But Epiphany, y'all. Oh my gosh. Yes, dude. Yes, dude. Oh, Jin shines, right? But there are certain ways that people like to leave him behind. But this is Jin's way of really just throwing it all out there and just being like, I am here. You will listen to me. And I just love, I love him so much. The hard thing with BTS is that each one of them is just so talented, and they've done a really, really, really great job of showcasing their individual talents and their personalities and just playing off of that with all of their storylines, especially in the Most Beautiful Moments in Life, with their BT21 characters, with all of their behind the scenes with Burn the Stage and the series that was on YouTube, and just everything. They've done a really great job of making BTS just so accessible to everyone, and so that you really understand their struggle, while they're still reminding everyone, hey, we are idols, we are doing a job, we can't show you everything about ourselves, but we're going to try to show you everything about ourselves, and talking about what the reality of being an idol is really like, and the amount of work that they have to put in, and what happens to them, like how they feel mentally and emotionally, and just, they're such a great group as a whole, you know? Like, yeah, you can say that they're still pretty well produced, just like any other K-pop group, and self-producing idols aren't as novel as they once were, but BTS is really good at it, and really great at showcasing each member's talents. Suga is a literal genius, you know, and his personality is so contradicting of how, you know, he's lazy and tired, and people want to portray him as angry or as like, oh, I don't like people touching me. But like, have you seen him on variety shows? He's always hyping up his members, and he's always like, yeah, that's BTS, man. Yeah, we are BTS. And he's repping so hard, and he does so well for his group. He helps them all so much. Namjoon is a perfect leader. Like, he really does lead by example, and they're very active about being aware of what's going on in the world, being aware of their own maybe missteps, miscalculations, and being really open and honest about that. And Namjoon takes a huge brunt of that, and he does really well at representing them internationally as well. J-Hope, his performance, not trying to start anything, not trying to say, there are a lot of K-pop dancers and choreographers that I love, K-pop idols that dance and choreograph very well. But as of right now, I will say J-Hope has no equal in the K-pop community. I wouldn't go so far as to say he has no equal in the world, but in terms of dedication, execution, talent, and just overall what we see performance-wise, he has no equal. He literally is always dancing 220%. And it's absolutely insane. The way that he moves his body, it's seemingly naturally, is what people train years and years and years to be able to do. And you have to concentrate so hard in order to execute like that every single time. But J-Hope just does it. Like, he lives and breathes dance. And I love him. And he loves his members. And I love him. We'll talk about that more later. Taehyung, excuse me. He is definitely my bias wrecker in the group. It took a little bit for me to really see V for what he is, but he is just an otherworldly being. I mentioned this with Singularity, but like, I'm an artist, so I really like studying people and the beauty of the human body. But usually when you look at good-looking people and you break down their individual parts, their individual, like their eye, their nose, their mouth. There's usually something quirky about it. Something that is maybe a little bit off, maybe a little bit crooked, maybe one part is a little bit bigger than the other. But when you take Taehyung's features and look at them individually, they are still perfect. And then as a whole, arranged on his face, perfect. There is nothing off about him. But the thing is, he's not symmetrical. Nobody is really truly symmetrical. And when we talk about people being very attractive or aesthetically pleasing, usually symmetry is what we strive for, but he is as close to that type of perfection as you can get. When you look at Western faces versus Asian faces, there are obviously a lot of differences, but looking at Taehyung's face, he shines through so many different views and perceptions of beauty. It's crazy. Plus the fact that he is weird as heck. He's actually a low-key musical genius as well. We all know he has perfect pitch, and he can find the pitch just from chickens screeching. Yeah, we all know. And he's just so funny, and he's so cute, and just overall as a person. But Tata is a very telling character to represent V, and yeah, it's amazing. Jimin, somehow Jimin gets more beautiful every day, every year, every time he comes back. He's an amazing performer. Yet he's so hard on himself all of the time. And he just seems to feel so deeply. Like, he's very in tune to his members, and he just loves them so much. And, like, you can't not love Jimin when you look at him. Especially when he smiles. His eye smile is one of the best in K-pop. I love him! Jungkook, the Golden Maknae. Literally, that title is no joke. He is honestly the Golden Maknae. And then he grew into this buff bunny, like, out of nowhere, and you're just like, what the heck? Like, eventually, Jungkook is gonna come out with his own solo album. And I fear for the world a little bit, just because I don't know what we're gonna do at that point, you know? How are we going to survive that? I don't know. I don't know how that works. And Jin, obviously, you see him right away. He is handsome, worldwide handsome. You know, just at the very beginning when I saw that they were going to be debuting and I saw their pictures, I did choose J-Hope as one of who I thought I was going to get into, but Jin was one because he was especially good looking. And at the very beginning, BTS's vibe didn't really match Jin at all. You know, as a whole, the hip-hop vibe doesn't really fit Jin, but they made it work. And just the way that BTS as a group has evolved in general, is very telling of how Jin works in that group. I don't know if that makes sense, what I just said. What I mean is, he fits in with what they've evolved to better than what they started out in. And I think a lot of people sleep on Jin, on his talents. You know, everybody talks about how good looking he is and how funny he is. But Jin is actually really talented. And I think he feels a lot more than we think, you know? He is the one that they go to, the members go to when they need advice or they need help. Like, there's a reason that they call him Mama Jin, you know? But it's not just like a joke thing. It's like a real thing, you know? He really does nurture that group. And the way that the rest of the group has grown has obviously been influenced by how Jin is as a person himself. So in a way, he has kind of helped raise Bangtan to where they are now. All of that Hyung line has really raised BTS to be where they are now. And not to say that any of the maknaes are slacking, because obviously they're not. But it's just a really great group to see grow as a family, as a set of brothers, you know? Yeah, sorry, I just went into a huge BTS love rant. But honestly, they are one of the best groups in K-pop. There's a reason why they are succeeding to where they are now, whether you support them or not, whether you support another group over them or not. They really have earned their place in the K-pop world right now, and they deserve all of the success that they have now. They work so hard, and they try so hard to be humble and to remember their roots and to support you know, their other Korean artists and friends, and they are just an extraordinary group. They are extraordinary. Okay, so that was a lot. I love them a lot, obviously. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know if we've got any other armies out there. I got my family into BTS. I've gotten friends into BTS. Literally, BTS is a really great gateway, especially now that their name is better known in the Western Hemisphere. They're a really great gateway group to get people into K-pop. So that's enough for today. If you want to see more BTS content in the future, let me know. And as always, just keep coming back for more, and I hope you have a good day. Bye!